As the dust settles on the Nick Bosa news, the 49ers have shifted their focus to the Jaguars, where everyone will bear added responsibility to keep the team undefeated. But is it time for the offense to carry the load? We'll discuss that, plus some important injury updates on today's 49K Pod.
You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm your host, Steph. It is Thursday, September 25th. It's another Third and Thursday show with my guy, Wayne Breezy. Wayne, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
And we all are, by a thread.
I mean, I know it's not a hypothetical. You really want to know how I'm doing. Overall, I'm good. From a health standpoint, things are great, but from a 49ers health standpoint, damn. It's just like another blow. But I'm optimistic as heck, and I'm excited to talk about how the Niners can get to 4-0. You know what I mean? So let's get it, baby.
Let's
hey,
get
Jags,
it.
Peachy.
And you did say from the injury standpoint, damn is right. Because if we look at this week's injury or practice report list for Wednesday's practice, September 24th, this is a long list, Wayne, so much so that I had to change the format of the practice report slide just to fit all the names and it still be legible. Obviously Nick Bosa is on the did not practice. He's not going to be practicing for the rest of the season. Injured reserve is coming soon for him, and his surgery is set for Friday tomorrow. So, that'll be the season for him. Jordan Watkins, rookie wide receiver, remains out with a calf injury. He's still an IR candidate, but remember, they were talking about IR for return for Watkins, which the 49ers are limited in spots for that. So I think they might just be waiting and seeing if that's really worth it or not for Jordan Watkins. So in the meantime, he's still on the 53. Ricky Pearsall dealing with a knee injury, but according to Pearsall, it's just soreness. He didn't seem too worried about it, so I'm not worried about it, Wayne. He did say if there was a game today, he'd be playing, and that was, of course, yesterday, Wednesday, right? So that made me feel good. He was doing some side work as well, so all right, that's fine. CJ West was getting thumb surgery, broken thumb this week. We'll have to keep an eye on that one because I don't know if he's going to be available for Sunday. Juwan Jennings dealing with the ankle injury more so now, did not practice. Yetur Gross-Matos also did not practice. And a couple of vet days for Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey. Then on the limited side of things, I'm going to go reverse order here. You got Kalia Davis with an ankle injury, Lenore with an illness, Connor Colby with a groin. Remember, that was the same injury he sustained late last week. He ended up playing, so probably just managing his reps right now. Ronaldo Green with the neck injury. And then both quarterbacks, Wayne, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, limited, although it feels like Brock Purdy's on the up and up with that toe injury.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're hoping. This is Mac Jones' return to play his former team. Kind of want to see that. That's just the type of person I am. But I need my Brock back. Like, I mean, I'm not the same without my Brock. Like,
You're a binky back.
Yeah. I'm a huge Brock fan. Huge fan, period. But it's just like, damn, like I miss Brock. I never thought I'd miss Brock more now than I missed Brock before when he had the UCL, but he came right back. Like, so it didn't, it was that one and done, and then he was back to starting the next season. So this is different. But I do miss Brock. I'm hoping that toe is healing well. Good thing he's limited. So he was limited last week. Let's see. I expect him to be limited this week, and again, game time decision. But it's interesting now that Mac Jones is limited too, because the controversy is Adrian Martinez is getting quarterback one snap. So they're rotating him. According to Kyle Shanahan, all three quarterbacks are getting snaps with the ones. This is fun. This carousel is ridiculous, and I don't like it. Like, I hate carousels. They're the most boring ride at the amusement park. No one wants to sit on a freaking horse and just go round and around. I guess as a little kid, it was a fantasy. As an adult, this shit is boring. So I'm tired of the carousel.
Yeah.
Just give us a definitive quarterback. Who is the guy we're going to be rocking with so we can game plan? We got a job to do. Like, we can't game plan. But maybe that's part of the Kyle Shanahan getting into your mind tricks type stuff.
Yeah, it could be. And we do have some update on Brock Purdy as well from John Lynch here in a bit. But yeah, Wayne, you did say you miss Purdy, and I miss Purdy as well. What's the biggest thing about Purdy that you miss out there on the field?
Man, just like his wit, like the energy that he brings. I mean, Mac Jones has a different vibe, different energy. Mac Jones is more loosey goosey though. Like you could tell Mac Jones is out there having fun. Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah. That's okay. I'll do it again, or I won't. He's just laughing. Whereas Brock is a little bit more commanding. And you miss that. You miss his ability to be able to scramble, to run, to get a first down, keep a play alive. Brock's looking to push the ball down the field. He's also setting to check it down. So. That's what I expect in this game. Check down, push down, like boom, 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 boom. But I just miss Brock's tenacity, his vibe, his command. It's just missing. But the crazy thing is we're 3-0. We're 2-0 with Mac. So I just miss Brock.
I miss Brock as well. I think I'd say the same thing. Like I miss his ability to just be mobile, right? And
yeah.
It hasn't been terrible with Mac. Like, it's not like Mac got sacked a bunch of times. He did a bit against the Saints, but, you kind of expected that, par for the course. But I'm ready for a quarterback who could extend plays if needed. And so, yeah, the hope is Brock Purdy's going to be back this week. Now, shifting back to, just how the loss of Nick Bosa impacts the defense. Well, the 49ers are bringing in some reinforcements, maybe not the one everyone's excited about. Everyone's talking trade, right? But in the meantime, you're not going to see any trades. They did promote Robert Beal Jr. to the 53-man.
As expected.
He's underperformed to this point.
As a pass rusher.
Not that we had like crazy expectations for him to begin with, but there was a time when we kind of did. And hey, like maybe now's the time he could show us what he has. This feels kind of like his last time that he could show us that. So this is a good opportunity for him. Signed to the practice squad as well. Defensive end William Bradley King. Jalen Mahoney is back as well. Derek Canteen released from the practice squad. But Wayne, I just want to talk about the trade, possibility of a trade. Every 49er fan is fantasizing about this, and they will be for the next few weeks until that trade deadline comes. John Lynch, who joined Kane BR this morning, was asked about it as well, and he kind of echoed some of the same thoughts as Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan did say, we'll definitely explore it, but it has to make sense for both us and whatever, team we'd be interested in player for. So in this case, John Lynch kind of saying, yeah, it's our job to look at exploring trades. We're not afraid to do it. And he did say, he thinks there's a deep group there, meaning on this defensive line, and that depth's going to be tested. We'll see what's out there at the appropriate time. Wayne, I don't think the appropriate time is necessarily now, because every team is still in an information gathering period. There's too small a sample size, I think, on the season to say anything too much definitively on what, your team is going to be, what a certain position group is going to be. So I think the 49ers kind of on the same boat, and I feel like they kind of want to see what they have, just for the next few weeks as well, and go from there. Then you assess the need. You'll figure out pretty soon, do we need a base down guy? Is it strictly just a base down guy? Do we need just a pass rush specialist guy? What's missing? Because it's going to be probably rare that you get a 3-down guy. I know everyone's mentioning Trey Hendrickson. It's a possibility. I only see that happening if 49ers are have a very impressive win record around the trade deadline and you really want to make a run. But other than that, I think you're probably just looking to fill in an extra body who can fill a role for this defensive line, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be several possibilities because it really comes down to what are the Niners willing to pay for whomever it is they're looking to make a deal with. So obviously it takes the two teams to tango, and if you are a 49er they're going to hold you for king's ransom and more. So it doesn't matter. Like, it could be a player we never heard of. We probably gonna spend money, spend picks. Sorry, capital. But my point is, I agree with you. It's too early to tell. You gotta test the market, and I mean, you gotta test your own waters with your own players. You gotta see what they could be able to do. And I think what it is the Niners have time. Now, they didn't go into this expecting to have to do anything. And they're not going to do something just because of an unfortunate situation, losing their all-pro premier pass rusher. It's almost impossible to replace an all-pro with an all-pro without mortgaging something or forfeiting something. They're going to have to do something big if they did want to go to Trey Hendrickson route. Even if they wanted to look at the Kayvon Thibodeau route, they're still going to have to give up capital. The reason why I'm high on the Trey is because he's proven to be able to do what he needs to do as a base down guy in the NFL. Could play all four downs like Nick Bosa, opposed to like a Kayvon Thibodeau, who has a good high pressure rate this year. But I mean, it's probably because of the heavy rotation they got there with their first round draft pick and such and such and such. And so look, I think the Niners, if they have to, will make a move by the trade deadline. Right now, they're going to go with players that they brought in here earlier. You see William Bradley King returning. Travis Gibson is still on the practice squad. And you mentioned Robert Bill Jr. earlier, and you said this may be his last opportunity. Yes, I agree. But I look at it from a game plan perspective. What's the number one thing you need help doing in this game is stopping the run. And that's where his strength lies. For some reason, he just doesn't have the pass rushing twitch anymore. He had it at Georgia, but right now it is officially just gone. Obsolete, gone. But he is good when it comes to tackling and stopping the run. And when you got the fifth rushing offense coming into town, averaging 141 yards on the ground per game with the third leading rusher in the NFL who has 270 rushing yards, I think stopping the run is something the Niners are going to look to do, force these guys to become one-dimensional for sure. But Travis Etienne is balling, and the Niners need a good run defense in this game. You lost Nick Bosa. How can Irie help replenish, not replace, but replenish some of the edge setting out there? And that's why I think they went with Robert Bill Jr. opposed to your pass rushing Travis Gibson, like that guy that could get to the quarterback. So I think Kyle Shanahan and his coaches are doing a tremendous job. We'll see how it pans out. And we'll see what the young pups can do. The Mykel Williams, is he going to be your base down edge rusher? Does he replace Nick Bosa to start the game and you slide somebody in on the inside? They do a lot of that. He'll no longer be playing the Eric Armstead role now. He'll be in the Nick Bosa role. So, or they keep him in the Eric Armstead role and they figure out Sam Okawano or somebody else to be
more
in
of
that
a rotation.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I agree with you 100%, man. I think they will explore the trade. If they need to. They still might add another sufficient piece. It just might not be that premier guy that we all want or we're thinking about. And they have time because the trade deadline isn't until November. And that's the key. And Niners are going to ride this motherfucker out. And don't let them win, because this is just going to be like, oh, we can still wait. They'll wait until they hit a rough spot. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they lose 3 straight, you might want to get on that phone.
That's an interesting question too, because I almost think the opposite. I'm like, if they lose 3 straight and they're thinking, oh, well, okay, Nick Bosa's not here, this might be our season. Like,
I thought about that.
Too many injuries
for
us to overcome.
Chalk it up and get that pick.
Just kind of chalk it up, because we never expected that this would be a competing roster in year 1 of this retooling anyway. So that's interesting, right? They could look at it either way. It really, I think, just depends on what they need.
I think it depends on how they lose Steph. If the issue is not necessarily the pressures, let's say the Niners continue to generate pressure, but let's just say setting the edge is terrible. Containing is not good. Luckily, they don't have a many quarterbacks that they got to contain, but they still got to contain these outside zone runs, right? They want to be able to keep these runs, either force them all the way out of bounds or bounce back into tacklers. And so that's where I think the Niners might be like, well, Mykel, he might not be there. It might take him a little bit more time, and we're still in contention to winning the NFC West. Who we got? We got the Jags, we got the Rams,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got the Bucks that are undefeated as of right now, going into Philly's coming into their town, and they're looking to remain undefeated. They're beat up and bruised as well. So you lose 3 straight, and you feel like you can still compete. Season's still not over with 3 losses.
Yeah.
So they might want to think about trying to pull the trigger on getting an efficient, sufficient premier, some type of player that can really help them in the run game. We cannot get ran on this year. It will affect everything.
Yeah, I think
It'll
so.
affect all the hard work in the secondary. It'll affect the linebacking play. Think about it. So
It
they're
has
going
to be the first domino. Is stopping the run always.
so they're going to test it. And like you said, we're going to see how these guys can pan out in the next couple of games. I'll say the next 3 games. They go 2-1. Even if they go 1-2, I don't think they hit a panic button. I think they still continue to ride. But if they go 0-3, I think they really start to get on them phones and see what they're working with.
Yeah, because the question they have to ask themselves is X player going to make this team better? Is it going to fix the issues that we're having? If not, then maybe
we'll just ride it out.
Not worth it.
Let the young people develop, and however we finish, and first top 10 draft pick, here we come.
Which, hey,
not a bad consolation prize.
As long as they don't trade up to 3 and try to get a quarterback.
They bet not. They got Brock. They done paid him.
No. I kid. But, as we try to keep it light here in the wake of the Nick Bosa news, I feel like the 49ers are also just trying to not put too much into this injury, right? Like, Kyle Shanahan was asked, like, have you talked to the team about it? He's like, well, no, I think everyone knows, right? And everyone's still focused on the goal at hand. Like that he's saying here, like the expectations really haven't changed. Fred Warner was kind of asked about the same thing and pretty much gave a similar response that, hey, like it's the same goal that we've had. And so I think that the team is still focused. They haven't let this rattle them, at least, vocally. They haven't vocalized that to this point. And I think it just becomes, hey, we know what we have to do. The end goal hasn't changed for us. Thanks. So, I appreciate that they're trying not to make it bigger than it is. I mean, it is a big deal, but at the same time, the show must go on.
Mm-hmm. Next man up.
And Wayne, is that next man up going to be Mykel Williams? Because he sure looks good, right? It's time. And Kyle Shanahan was asked about Mykel playing on the edge a little bit more. We've seen him there. I mean, as you mentioned, like he's been lining up all over the place, right? And Kyle Shanahan said that he's doing a good job. He said we put him mainly inside for pass rush situations, but it doesn't mean he can't do it outside. And I think he's done a real good job there. I think so too. So I do think, just based on virtue of, you don't have Nick Bosa there, you're going to see more of a rotation at that edge spot opposite Bryce Huff, which even Bryce Huff is going to be rotated. I don't know if I'm a fan of Bryce Huff getting 3 down work. He needs to continue being the pass rush specialist. That's where he is best.
Bingo.
So I think both spots are going to just have a rotation, and they're going to, again, as we said, they're going to figure that out through these next few weeks. What does that rotation look like? Who's best in what situations? And that's how they're going to go moving forward. But yes, I think Mykel is definitely going to be part of that rotation on the outside. So you're going to see him getting more snaps there going forward, and as early as this week against the Jags.
Yeah, one of the rotational lines that I saw in my film study this week, which you could check out on my Patreon, after Bosa, the injury, was Mykel, right? You have Mykel, Bryce Huff, and they still use Mykel on the inside. So their outside guys were Huff and Okuwanu, and then you had Gross Matos and Mykel on the inside. And I was like, oh, I see what the Niners are doing. And that was highly effective in the game. Now, there were other packages where you saw Kalia Davis and probably on first downs, the rundowns. You saw those guys, Kalia Davis, Jordan Elliott out there. Because you want Jordan Elliott out there on your rundowns for sure. He's a big run stuffer. But it's not just Mykel that we're talking about. The Niners drafted guys high for a reason He was their first round pick for a reason, and it's his ability to be versatile. And what you get from Mykel Williams with the luxury that they had was Nick Bosa here, so that Mykel can tune up inside. Naturally, he plays on the outside. He was tuning up on the inside. He was literally turning into a modern day Eric Armstead, literally.
Yeah, he was.
But more bend, better freakish athleticism, probably strength, all that good stuff. The only thing he needs now is the mind, the strength, the experience, and things like that. The reps, right? Eric Armstead's a force of a player, and he's playing really well right now in the first 3 games with Jacksonville, who returning home this week. Believe it or not, we're going to be playing him. So my point is, though, it's time. And when I say it's time, hey, man, time to put the big boy pants on, dog, because your opportunity to be an edge rusher out here is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I can't wait to watch this. Let's go.
Yeah, Tyler DeSena on Twitter, great follow if you guys don't follow him yet. He did a breakdown, and, you know, I muted the audio because we're talking here, but if you guys have a chance to check that out on his Twitter account, go and do that. I mean, it really got me pumped, and I'm sure you saw the same things, Wayne, in your film study. It really got me pumped about Mykel Williams and just the potential that he has, what he's already doing at a high level. And you just know he's only going to get better. Mm-hmm. So this is very encouraging what we've seen from Mykel so far. So he's going to be someone that, you know, going forward will have to continue to improve in real time, right? And thankfully we've seen it, so we know he could do it. But I think they're going to need a little bit more from all of these guys. But, you know, Wayne, what they'll need more from going forward, I think we've talked enough about what the defense needs to do, like throughout this whole week, right? The defense, who's going to step up,
it's been the staple,
Mykel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
I think now, they took the biggest blow. Like, you lost Bosa.
They for sure did.
And so defensively, it's been, because if you look at the past 3 weeks, who won these games? Defensively, they closed out the game.
They did. I feel like it's been complimentary. Like, you know, last week you had a game-winning drive from the offense as well to put them in position.
But the defense gave them the opportunity to get
exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Now you're missing that key component on the defense, and so it gets a little weary. So I get why people are stuck on the D. But let's talk about the offense, right?
Exactly, because if we're expecting that maybe the defense is not going to have that same –
it's time for them to turn it up a couple notches, man. It's
time for the offense to come through. And, you know, not to go to negative town right off the bat, but we've got injury updates, all right? Because let's face it, there's been several injuries on the offense.
This is not negative, though.
It's not really negative. It's just facts. It's facts.
These are facts and nothing we can control. It's
a fact in nature for the 49ers every single season. We're used to it, you know.
Steph, I was listening. I was doing my fantasy stuff, my fantasy work, and so like on one of the fantasy football shows, I think they come on TV or whatever, they were so mean to the 49ers, but as I'm listening to him, it was so real. He was like, yeah, but they're just injured every year, and I'm like, dang, I can't even say nothing. Like, I wanted to be mad, like, yo, don't be trashing my team. But it's like, right, they're injured. And now you don't have Bosa. And now you're injured again. And so the 3-0 is like you know, I'm just like, dang, like, I can't even clap back. My point is, other guys got to step up. Because I really don't like that negative talk connotation about my team. I don't like it. I don't take heed to it. I get offensive. And I'm ready to fight. And so I'm hoping the fight that I have, I don't even play. I'm hoping the players feel the exact same way. They say they don't listen. That's bull crap. They hear everything. Mm-hmm. All right. This is a social media world.
They have phones too.
That you ain't never lied. All right. And so I'm hoping they hear it, man, because dang, they are down. They are not really in on the 49ers. They feel like we're the worst 3-0 team. And it's because of the injuries. It's because it's not because of the gameplay or anything like that. It's like, which player gonna get injured next? And I'm like, y'all ain't got no wood over there? Damn. My bad. I just had to go on that rant. It pissed me off.
We got it.
Thank you.
All right, but yeah, let's look at these updates that we got from Kyle Shanahan earlier today, as he was on KNBR, I'll put this a little bit bigger so you guys could see for the audio listeners. He said on Purdy, quote, "I could tell you he practiced yesterday and he's at a better place than he was on Sunday. He looked really good. We'll see how he responds today, but his progression has really been a good one," end quote. So that seems encouraging on Purdy. On George Kittle, he said, "George is doing really well. He's putting in a lot of really good work. The presence he has is really unique and special. It's killing him not being out there." That's not much of an update, Wayne, in my opinion. Like, okay, sure. It's great. He's doing well. You know, I would hope so. It's been a few weeks now. And the soonest Kittle can come back is I think after week 5, right? Because he went on IR after the week 1 game. So
correct.
After week 5. The big one here, Wayne, is Brandon Aiyuk, who, you know, we're kind of, I don't want to say banking on him, but we are expecting him to come back at some point this season and only help this offense in the pass catching situation here. John Lynch said, quote, "No setbacks. There's different levels with the ACL. Brandon had a significant injury. He's a really gifted athlete and a really hard worker. There's no absolutes on these things. He's got to continue to hit markers. We'll be a better team when Brandon's out there, so we look forward to that day, but it's not close. When we have some more info on that, we'll be forthright with it." So not close. And honestly, Wayne, I kind of could tell that. Like, if you saw the clips of him in practice, I know everyone was excited to see it, but if you're actually looking at it and you're looking at the date and you're looking at how far week 6 is, you're like, okay, this is great that he's running, you know, but still does not look like that's full speed. He's still not cutting, like hard cutting at full speed. So I think I figured that. I figured that he wasn't really close. That week 6 day, I think, is completely out the window. Not that, you know, there's reason to be totally concerned. You know, there's no setbacks, but we're going to have to wait a bit longer.
I think, though, the reason for this, and I know he used the words "not close," and that's a crazy choice of words, but it could be that. But it's because of the emergence of Ricky Pearsall. And so this gives the 49ers the luxury of not rushing him back, he's paid. Brandon Aiyuk is paid. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. This might be a season where you just chalk it up and say, "Hey, man, you know, if you can come back, we make it to the playoffs, you come back around then, perfect. If not, we got next year." But you're watching the emergence of Ricky Pearsall. You're hoping Jawan Jennings can string his health and get his health together. You already look to address Brandon Aiyuk in the offseason by signing DeMarcus Robinson and other free agents that you had to sign due to injuries. And some of those guys are still here. You drafted Jordan Watkins. We'll see how that pans out. I'm surprised he's not going to be the IR candidate. But like you said, they already put Jacob Cowing as a designated to return. And so I don't know if you're going to want 2 receivers on that list designated to return this season. So this might be the year of the Jacob Cowings on the IR. And they just keep Watkins and inactive. So I think Brandon Aiyuk, he's making the strides. I honestly think when the time is right, week 5 too, because I read that his PUP stuff didn't kick in until September, so it was weird. Even though he's been on the PUP forever, so I don't know when he'll be eligible to return, but they'll just play that. They'll play that week by week. I'm okay if Brandon Aiyuk doesn't play this year. I think at this point, you know, the receivers are covered. You seeing that you have a guy that can get open like Brandon Aiyuk. I want to see more of that and just let Aiyuk fully recover. He did not, and I repeat, he did not just have an ACL injury. It was ACL, MCL, PCL. He broke 3 of the 4 ligaments in the knee. He tore, 3 of the 4 ligaments in the knee. Like that's wow. Like, you don't, that's rare. Like, you know what I mean? And so let him fully recover. Let him take this season off to fully recover. But you keep testing him. You know, if he passes and makes those markers and he's eligible to return, you see how it pans out. If it's a season where the Niners aren't contesting, why risk them? Yeah. If it's a season where they are contesting and you can get a big-time player back, that's when you look to bring him back.
Yeah, I think assuming that the 49ers have enough wide receivers that can, play and give you valuable snaps, then I'd be fine with Brandon Aiyuk missing this season if it means, okay, he's back next season at
Full
100%,
capacity.
because it takes time. And, as the great Stefania Bell always says, return to play does not equal return to performance. And I quote that here a lot. Because it's true, if he does come back at any point this season, I don't think we're going to see any semblance of the player that we'd seen in the past. So how much good does that do, really? It would help him get his feet under him and all that. But yeah, I think it really just depends on where he's at a little later in the season. So we'll find out. I guess it is encouraging in any case. There hasn't been any setbacks. I still am encouraged by the videos that we've seen. Like, he's moving. He seems to be moving well, just not at that point yet where, again, like, you would expect him to be joining this team anytime soon. But let's shift over to what this means for the other guys, because I think, Demarcus Robinson should have a chance to play this week. I think they have to activate him today. Today's
the day.
Yeah, so they have to make some room for him, which actually times out perfectly with Nick Bosa is going on IR. Demarcus Robinson could take his spot on the 53-man. I assume we probably get that announcement at some point today. It is the 10:30 Pacific time as we record this now. So maybe by the time you're hearing this, that move has happened. But yeah, Demarcus Robinson should be coming back. I think he's going to be someone who can help this offense out. I mean, I definitely think he's someone who could get separation, who could get open. And that's something that the 49ers definitely need. And hopefully Juwan Jennings could come back as well. If you have Ricky Pearsall, Demarcus Robinson, Juwan Jennings out there, I suddenly feel pretty good about the wide receiver group this season, maybe even more so than last year early in the season when it was Brandon Aiyuk and no one else. So now when all those guys are available in a game, you have a lot of options to throw to. Let's talk about Ricky Pearsall. He is taking the league by storm. Number 3 in receiving yards with 281. That is with far less targets than what the top two, Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith-Njigba, have right now. It's funny, all those guys in the NFC West. So that does the NFC West have the best wide receivers right
now? Yeah, that's what it's panning out to be. I mean, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And you said far less targets, and that's crazy, right? But you know what I've realized? He averages, no one talks about this, he's averaging the most yards per reception at 17.6. His explosive playability downfield is ridiculous. And so Puka's getting all the targets because he's going across the middle. Devontae Adams is the one kind of moving down the field. So, yeah, Puka's targets are going to be up, but you expect that because he's a big guy in the slot. And the same thing with Jackson Smith-Njigba, the way that they utilize him. He's their team's number 1. Pearsall is still not the number 1 target on this team, like Christian McCaffrey is.
Which is crazy. It's crazy, right?
It's crazy, but it's not crazy because of the way the defenses are playing us, Steph. And so I'm like, damn, yeah, we struggling to run the ball. Yeah, the interior offensive line, the run blocking offense is just terrible, but still teams are also putting 8 to 9 men in the box every single freaking play. Like maybe 1 out of 10 plays don't have 9 men in the box. So they're literally trying to take the run away. So kudos to these quarterbacks. I've been wanting a quarterback that can throw the ball to the check down. I think Jimmy Garoppolo was probably the last great check down quarterback. We're starting to see it from Brock. Brock didn't do it much last year. Why? No CMC. And then it was Isaac Guerrero. So I don't know why we're not utilizing Isaac Guerrero, because I feel like he's a big play running back opposed to the kind of like ground and pound Brian Robinson is going to get you those tough, gritty yards, whatever. I want to see more creativity with the running back rotation. I know you don't want to use everybody, but dang, like you could put a Garendo out there. He doesn't turn over the ball. He doesn't kick returns, but not in running back. Like, let him run the ball. Let him see if he could bounce to the outside. They love the outside zone. And the other guys are just not fast enough to get to the outside. The blocking isn't there. Like, it's just weird. So
weird. I
would like to see that. But Christian McCaffrey, expect him to get target after target after target because this fifth ranked run defense coming in here, I'm not scared of the Jags. But damn, they playing good football. I'm not going to lie.
They definitely are. And for the audio listeners, Christian McCaffrey is on pace for 141 receptions. The record for most receptions
is 116.
116, set by CMC himself. Shout out Hayden Winks for posting that on Twitter. And that's incredible. You talked about the, facing 8+ in the box, and that's part of it. But, surprisingly, Christian McCaffrey is actually middle of the pack in facing 8-man boxes, according to Next Gen Stats, about 19.23% of the time. There's other guys who are at 30%, 40% for whatever reason. But so I think I've seen enough for this, for the offense not to have any excuses to not have a run game going. Like, we need to see that at some point. The fact that they don't have any rushing touchdowns and the run game, the run blocking looks as bad as it has so far is problematic to me. That is something that I don't think is sustainable, Wayne, like for the rest of the season.
Yeah, fix it.
Especially if what we're saying, right? This offense is going to probably have to score a little bit more points. We're not saying like put up 40 every game, but like they're going to have to do a little bit more. And in order to do a little bit more and be able to sustain that, you need to be able to run the football, especially for this Kyle Shanahan offense. Actually has been impressive, the fact that they're 3-0 and all that, even with all of these things that they've been facing so far, including the lack of a run game. But that definitely has to change.
Yeah, man, when you're looking at the Niners rush offense, it's kind of down there at the bottom of the league in the 20s for sure. They're not even averaging 100 yards per game. Like they're just not running the ball, but they're still fighting. See, I'm learning to be okay with not rushing the ball like we normally do, where you get the 100-yard rusher, blah, blah, blah. It's clearly more of a system style based this year, right? And it's more about like the wear and tear on how they're wear and tearing on these defenses. The issue is these games have been relatively too close to where the Niners can sustain that type of a run game. So they have to go to the extension of the run game. And so it's like you can't have both. You can't rush the ball super well and have the extension of the run game, which is the short check down, screen passes, all that stuff, and those be successful. So if a defense is playing to take away the run, I'm looking for the Niners to find a way to create an extension of the run game to push this defense back so that they can run the ball in the way, so they can open up the play action pass. Like we're play action passing, we're action pass, we're doing all that stuff with 8 in the box. I love it. It's not as successful as we want it to be, but I love the fact that Kyle says, I don't give a fuck if you put 8 in the box. We're gonna run at it, we're gonna run away from it, and we're gonna throw on it, and we're gonna make the throws. And so efficiency for me is key. Like, you just got to be efficient. I want quick throws, check it down, get the ball out. Yeah, look for the deep throw down the field, but it's got to be like your first to last read, because you're looking first, they're not open, and then you're hoping to get to your progressions, and you're looking again, and then hit the check down. Like, all in 3-4 seconds. Like, you got to be able to do it. And so we'll see what happens this week against another tough defense. Interesting how we playing all the worst teams from last year, and they got the top they got the top defenses in the league. I can't figure it out. Like, that junk is blowing my mind. Worst teams, top defenses. It's crazy.
Indeed. Now, I think this is a good time to get on over to the third down conversions. And this one's somewhat on topic to what we were just talking about, right? So the first one, and again, we're going to either convert or we're going to punt. If you convert, you agree. If you punt, you disagree. Ricky Pearsall stays the wide receiver 1 all season. Are you converting or are you punting?
Oh, I'm converting. To me, jobs are earned. They're not given. He's given the opportunity, but he's proven that he can earn it. He's earning the opportunity. He's earning the job. And so if he continues to earn that job, it is what it is. We did that with Juwan Jennings last year. No one complained. No one cried. He earned it. Now, if Ricky Pearsall's going out there week after week and he's seizing the day, he's carpe diem all the time. All right. Now, I'm not saying he's going to have great games where there's not going to be any drops or anything. No, this is real. This is football. But at the end of the day, he's finding ways to seize the opportunities that he's getting. And this cat can do a lot. He runs really good routes. The only route I haven't seen him run is that whip route. And so I think there's 9 routes. These
He's
wide
done
receivers.
It before though.
I haven't seen it though.
Last season. He had one last season. I thought.
I felt like he did, right? I do
not,
remember that. I think because I remember us talking about it. I was like, oh, he got the whip. But I haven't seen it this year because he's more pushing the ball down the field this year. So look, if he continues to seize that, this cat is earning the X. What does that mean in the future? Well, we're not there yet. So, when Brandon Aiyuk comes back, this gives Aiyuk competition to earn his job back. It's not going to be just given to him. So I love it because they didn't go out there and make Juwan Jennings the X. We did. We said he was the number 1 guy. Juwan Jennings can't even stay on the football field healthy. And it's not a shot at him.
Right.
But when Juwan Jennings is out there, expect Kyle Shanahan and the quarterbacks to take advantage of the mismatches. But this guy is the guy that can run all the routes with the speed. And I think he has the best hands on the team next to Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk. They got good hands.
He definitely showed that this past week. Man, what great concentration and body control that he has to be able to come away with some of those catches that he had this past week. I agree. I convert this as well. Ricky Pearsall does stay the wide receiver 1 all season. I think this especially feels easier to answer after what we just heard about Brandon Aiyuk, not being close to returning. So I think Ricky Pearsall is running away with it. All right, next one. And, we kind of touched on this earlier, and I have a feeling I know where you're going to go with this one, Wayne. 49ers are the worst 3-0 team. Are you converting or are you punting?
I'm punting that. I don't believe that they're the worst 3-0 team. If you give me a team, did I say the right? Am I making the right? I'm struggling with this converting punting stuff. I don't believe in that. Is what I'm saying.
So you punt.
So I'm punting. Did I say punt or did I say convert?
They're the worst 3-0 team. So yeah, you're punting because you don't agree with that.
I don't. Yeah. So kick that out of here. Look, you can't tell me. You can't. It doesn't make any sense. The math doesn't math. If you're telling me that the Niners are the worst 3-0 team that has faced the most adversity in the NFL, and when we say adversity, it's not just injuries, but it's really injuries. And so, how are they 3-0 then? Don't hand me they played the Saints. Don't hand me they played the Seahawks because y'all got the Seahawks red freaking hot. And don't hand me because they played the Cardinals. Cardinals were undefeated when we played them. The Seahawks were undefeated when we played them. And we beat them. So at the end of the day, we're going out there taking care of business with a backup quarterback. So how does that make you the worst 3-0 team? Now, look, it's going to be tough because there's some 3-0 teams that are out there that they look really dynamic. But how are the Bills the greatest 3-0 team? They don't look great. They got a good run game, and Josh Allen might be the best quarterback in the NFL. You're converting on – you're saying they're the best 3-0 team because of those two players? Their defense shows up every other week. Last week it showed up. Week before that it didn't. But they're finding ways to win, and they remain hot. So why can't the Niners just be hot? Why they got to be the worst 3-0 team? They're a hot team because I'm still hot that they not top, at least in the top 10 in the power rankings on anybody in the power rankings. It doesn't make any sense to me. The best team in the NFL should be the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the Super Bowl champs, and they can't be beat. Well, they haven't been beaten yet. They've been tested, they've been tried, and even through their adversity, they found a way to win. So I'll put them at the top. The hottest team in the league might be between the Chargers and the Colts. But how you gonna put the Colts? The Colts are the Niners, minus the injuries. It's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
The whole world gave up on this cat, and he's middle finger in the world. So why can't the Niners be respected in that same sense? I wasn't comparing. For those that are watching, don't ever think I was comparing the Niners or anybody to Josh Allen, but the team is the Bills is Josh. Yeah, Josh Allen and James Cook is that team. Josh Allen sucked in week 2. How do I know? I got him in fantasy football. That motherfucker made me lose. But James Cook didn't. So that's what I'm saying. The Niners are in that boat. I don't believe in Tampa. Never have. But they're weird.
And they're also dealing with a lot of injuries, Wayne. The Bucs are. Yeah.
And the Chargers, to me, are the hottest team in football. Like they just finding ways to win. No one's talking bad about the Chargers. They lose their best offensive player in Rashawn Slater, and he's figuring it out. They're literally 3-0. I can't wait to see this Philly-Tampa Bay game this week. I'm sorry if I'm going off tangent.
I'm actually just looking forward to one of them losing.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. One of them got to go. And I don't see it being Philly on the road. I just don't.
Same. I mean,
because of the injuries.
Mike Evans, exactly. They're not going to have Mike Evans
because of the injuries.
They might have Chris Godwin coming back to kind of a similar point to what we were saying with Brandon Aiyuk. He's not going to be at 100%.
I forgot that saying you said, but I loved it. That saying you said, just because you're something about performance.
Return to performance doesn't. Or return to play does not mean
return to performance.
So I think that's what we see with Godwin as well for that Bucs. Yeah, I think the Eagles are just going to be too much for them. But yeah, just to kind of rehash who the undefeated teams are through 3 weeks of the season. You spoke about all of them, Wayne, but for the audio listeners who don't see this graphic, the Bills, the 49ers, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bucs, and the Colts. Yesterday I was on Larry Kruger's show, and I did say that I thought the 49ers were the worst 3-0 team. What I mean by that is I think I'm for sure counting in the injuries. I'm looking at who they have out there. Mm-hmm. But you know what? That makes it that much more impressive. Their 3-0 is one of the most impressive 3-0s of all of these because you are.
That's where I was coming from.
So shorthanded, so. Yes, I understand what the Colts are doing. The Colts are pretty close there to being one of the worst teams as well. I think a lot of that has to do with our perception of Daniel Jones and just feeling like that shoe was going to drop at some point, maybe this week against the Rams.
Did you say that shoe?
That shoe's going to drop, yeah.
Do you know how dope that was? Because they're a horseshoe. And you ain't even get it? Damn.
I like where your mind was at, though.
I'm with you, man. I got you. Tag team.
I mean, they got a tough matchup against the Rams this week. So
I got them losing. I'm sorry.
Of course, I do too. I mean, the Rams got to feel away about the way they lost to the
Philly.
Eagles last week. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think a couple of these teams drop a game this week. I mean, we know for sure either one of the Eagles and Bucs do.
So that means that the Bills and the Niners and the Chargers could potentially be, because they play other teams.
Right.
They could potentially remain undefeated. Oh, I love it. There'll be 3-0 teams this week. That's what my picks say. Can't wait to post my picks.
So, yeah, I do convert. The 49ers are the worst 3-0 team, but I don't feel bad about it one bit. And as it pertains to this upcoming week, I think they got a tough matchup ahead, or just a matchup I don't want to overlook, right? I think when we face the Saints, it's like, we'll be fine. We could beat them. Kind of same thing with the Cardinals, right? You're always a little cautious about it any given Sunday, but I still think, the Jags have some things that could make things difficult for the 49ers. So this is where I want to get now into 3rd and goal. Wayne, 49ers' biggest goal this week against the Jags. Thought about this one?
This might sound kind of corny. This is also one of my keys to victory. Their biggest goal is to protect the football. You're playing against the number 1 turnover team in the NFL. Well, maybe number 2 as far as differential. But as far as throwing picks, and the Niners quarterbacks like to throw interceptions, they lead the league with 7. And Jordan Lewis to tie for leading the league in first with 2. And so, they look to turn over the ball. They have the pressure up front. They got the front 4 up front. They're able to apply that pressure with Josh Hines Allen Josh Hines Allen, and whatnot. And so this team is going to be crazy. So the Niners got to find a way to protect the ball, not turn over the ball. This is one of those, if you lose the turnover battle, you lose the game type of games. Like, I feel like it's going to come down to that. And yes, I want to see the Niners do the same on their end. I mean, you look at Trevor Lawrence, dude, league in interceptions, tied for interceptions, 4 interceptions. Well, there's one player with 5, that's Browning, but we're not going to ever mention his name because he's trash. But then there's Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? He's right there. So if you can get to him, you can apply pressure, you force him to throw the ball, you'll get that. But the Niners got to protect the football, and it's not just protecting the football on, offense. It's like making sure you don't get the field goals blocked or punts blocked and things like that, like silly things that can happen. So special teams offense got to protect the ball. It might be silly, but that's a key thing. That would be my 3rd and goal.
All right, so the biggest goal the 49ers have this week is stopping the run. We kind of alluded to it earlier. You were talking about Travis Etienne and just what he's doing so far. Is it Travis or Trevor? I'm like,
it's Travis.
Which one's the older one?
Trevor we met at the Senior Bowl this past year. Yeah. And then Travis is the
Their names
older
are just
brother.
Too much alike. Like, maybe have a different first name.
At least with a different letter, right. A different 2 letters. The first 2 letters need to change. Like, call yourself Stravis or something.
And it's 2 syllables. Like,
right.
It's too much. It's too much for me.
Right.
But stopping the run is the biggest goal, I think, this week. I mean, you could say it's the biggest goal every week. I feel like I've 100%. Said that before. But the Jags, a lot of their offensive success has come through their ground game. Etienne has the 3rd most rushing yards so far this season.
270.
He's averaging 5.9 yards per carry. What's crazy is I felt like last week, and I only say this because I have him in a fantasy league, but I felt like they kind of didn't give Travis Etienne a lot of opportunity in that week 3 game, even despite him being so efficient on the ground. Mm-hmm. They're bringing in Pearsall Tutin a little bit more. And so one thing that you have to keep in mind with Tutin is that missed tackle 4 straight is at 35.3%. That's 6th amongst running back. So he is hard to bring down. You also have heard plenty about his speed. As a unit, the Jags rushing offense, they're averaging 5.1 yards per carry. That's 6th in the NFL. So both of these guys really, Etienne, 83 rushing yards before contact, 2nd most of any running back. So all that to say that you better wrap up. You better wrap up.
Not wrap it up, but wrap and tackle. This is a fundamental game for the defense.
It really is.
And again, I wrote about this in my article that'll be published, but you lose that key. You lose a key, not a piece, but you lose a key cog. And remember, I used to kind of downplay. I used to say Nick Bosa needs to work on his run defense. This dude is a crazy, great run defender. And so now the question is, how do you replenish that? I'm okay with the sacks and the pressures and things like that. You got to be able to stop the run first and foremost, because you want to make him one-dimensional. You want Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball so you can get an interception or 2. We don't have any interceptions this year. So we have the forced fumble, right? And so this is a game where you can take advantage of. Now, the good thing is Kyle Shanahan has played Trevor Lawrence well. Mm-hmm. But with ATN, but this is a different season. You're right. And they will use that change of pace back in Tutin, a guy that I thought the Niners were going to draft. We went Jordan James. So look, at the end of the day, you're right. You got to find a way to stop the run. And if you can stop the run and force them to become one-dimensional, you could play your pass defense, you could rush 4, you could drop 7 in the coverage, and you can force this guy, Trevor Lawrence, to make mistakes. I do want to put out a sleeper player that I don't want to overlook. I'm not saying he's dynamic, Steph.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Brenton Strange.
I can't stand you. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That was it. That was it. Didn't know she knew my sleeper. Got that. That's it. That's my
I
sleeper.
do my homework.
That's my sleeper. You gotta figure out. Don't forget about Strange.
Yeah.
Because expect him to take advantage of the young safeties. Expect it. Look, Trey McBride got the best of D. Winters on that touchdown, but they did a good job at defending Trey McBride because he is Trey McBride. So he's game planned for. My point is, don't sleep on Strange thinking he's not a dynamic guy, and then he ends up being a dynamic weapon for Trevor Lawrence. That might be his check down. So
the 49ers have had their fair share, I think, this season so far of facing some pretty respectable tight ends.
sure.
I mean, they just faced Trey McBride. You definitely have to count for him. He has like the highest
The
target
best.
rate in that Cardinals offense. The week prior, Juwan Johnson also had the highest target rate.
But that's
going
who they
into
struggled
that.
against, Steph. If you notice, they
I
didn't.
mean,
they did.
because they're the quarterback's favorite target. Like they're going to get theirs.
Got you.
And they each got touchdowns. I think that's the biggest thing is
shoot,
you know,
you're
not
right.
allowing the touchdowns. I think that's where this young secondary is susceptible, which is where I think the impact of not having Nick Bosa is going to show up more because if your quarterback has a little more time to throw and they're feeling a little more comfortable in the pocket, they're going to feel pretty comfortable targeting the secondary. Anyone besides Lenore basically could be had. You know, until some of these guys get a little more comfortable with, you know, getting targeted as much as they are. Marquez Siegel, for example, really, really good player so far coming downhill. He had a great play late in that game.
Kyler Murray.
Field tackle on Kyler Murray. Overlooked, actually, because everyone's talking about the stout play, but that one just as important. But in coverage, like, he's been susceptible. So that could be something that we see this week. But to what you were saying earlier, you could force this offense into mistakes. Sometimes you don't even have to force them. Like the Jags are simply making mistakes on offense, and that's hurting them. And that's kind of the 49ers way. That's their foot in the door to beating this Jags team. 13 drops, which is the most. That's definitely not helping. 15 offensive penalties is tied for the most in the league. 4 interceptions thrown by Trevor Lawrence. That's tied for second. And for Niner faithful here asking, what happened to Brian Thomas Jr.? He doesn't have Mac Jones anymore. I mean, that's just, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Like, for whatever reason, Brian Thomas Jr., as good of a player as he is, does not have the same chemistry so far with Trevor Lawrence. And hopefully that continues into this game. The 49ers definitely don't want to be a bounce back opportunity for them. But, you know, there will be opportunities for the 49ers defense to kind of seize that I don't want to keep saying opportunity, but seize opportunity against this offense. Just really quickly, Wayne, before we get out of here, and we don't have to go too much into this, but just give me just your quick sentence here. 3rd and long, the 49ers' biggest challenge. I'm going to say the biggest challenge from my end is not turning the ball over because of what you mentioned earlier, the Jags defense forcing 9 turnovers in 3 games, 7 interceptions. We all know that Brock Purdy, you know, sometimes being aggressive as he is, can get caught up in you know, passes that could be intercepted.
That to me, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be. I hate to think like that, but when you're playing against an aggressive defense that is waiting, they're like piranhas waiting for you to make a mistake. You got to be a little leery of that, right? And so that's my thing. Like, you got to figure out how to protect the football. That's why I think the efficient throws, opposed to those big throws down the football field, unless you get man coverage, you know. I didn't check to see how much zone defense they play, but our quarterbacks are struggling more in the zone. Do you have that? I don't know.
They play a lot of zone.
Okay,
earlier.
Thank you for telling me that, because that to me is going to be the issue if we're not finding the soft spots in the zone. And the moment you check it out, you think it's man, and then there's that safety just waiting and baiting you over the top. That's where the interceptions come in. So you don't want to give them the opportunities to give it to try to score points. I don't even want these guys kicking field goals on us. I mean, actually, I do. I have the kicker. So I only want Cam Little kicking field goals in this game. But I need the Niners to not turn the ball over. And you know what? Can I say a different one? I know you.
Yeah. Let's go.
Red zone, they got to convert to touchdowns.
Yes.
They got to find ways to get. They got into the red zone 4 times and only got 1 touchdown last week, and that's unmotherfreaking acceptable, especially when they went 100% the week before with Mac. They got to convert. Like, red zone offense is terrible. Red zone defense struggled last week, but they've been overall pretty dang good. But the offense they're going to get there. And they got to figure out a way to get in. Don't get stupid penalty, get pushed back. Don't negative runs, negative plays on first down. We should do a stat on how many negative first down plays the Niners have, because it's ridiculous and it throws the whole rhythm off. Because now, instead of it being 2nd and 6, 2nd and 4, it's 2nd and -12, 2nd and -14, second. That's tough. So they got to figure out how to score touchdowns in the red zone.
Indeed. And just of note earlier, as you mentioned, so zone coverage, the Jags defense have been in zone coverage 83%.
God dang.
Opposing dropbacks this season. That is per Next Gen Stats, the 6th highest rate in the league. So to your point, I kind of feel like the 49ers like to face zone defenses. I mean, because they have a knack, especially Ricky Pearsall, a knack for finding
the soft spot.
And then
that's what made Brandon Aiyuk famous. Remember?
Yeah. And so, Wayne, I think it really comes down to which of these offenses can capitalize on maybe the opportunities that the defenses can give them via even turnovers or, just the other offense making mistakes or something like that. Who's going to capitalize on those? That's going to be the winner of this game.
Can I ask you a question before you get to this?
Yep.
I know Nick Bosa's not here, so Bosa's done. But whose defense do you think is better in this matchup? Because that's what it's going to come down to. Which defense can make a stand? And the Niners defense have the advantage because they're at home, but they also missing their best player. So which defense?
Tough. It's tough, Wayne.
It is tough because
I think the 49ers offense is better
than the Jags.
So I think the Jags have a better defense as far as just what they've been able to produce so far as turnovers go. Like, that's big.
But they're not playing
their
against
offense is not capitalizing on it as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it kind of balances itself out. The 49ers offense is better. The Jags defense is better. But on the other hand, it kind of goes the other way. So
I think I agree, but I also don't think they've played a team that's as efficient, that can be as efficient as the Niners. The Niners can move like a machine.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the 49ers offense is better, so it's possible this Jags defense looks worse.
Got you.
Yeah.
We're saying, okay, got you.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this matchup feels very even to me in ways. So it'll be interesting how it plays out on
Sunday.
Excited. Shout out to Slick68 who says, "Shit, don't sleep on the best linebacker duo, Fred Wreck and Big D Pause."
Facts. We combine between the two, they have 55 tackles, 52 tackles. Excuse me. Fred Warner has 30. He's tied up there in top 5. Then you have, or top 7, I can't remember. And then D Winters is down there a little bit. But you're right. They're just really great. I think the thing that I love most about those dudes is their communication. There was a play, I don't remember if it was last week, but just watching D Winters tell the safety, get the fuck out of the box. Like, I got this. Like,
he's commanding.
You have no idea how that made. I'm a linebacker, so you have no idea. And it's like he's not playing the mic, but he has the mic ability. So it's just like, he's telling the safety, no. of this is I got this here. I need you back, and it worked. You know what I mean? So I love it, man. You're seeing progress. You're seeing players literally blossom, and to me, that's why I stay optimistic.
Yeah.
So because
we haven't seen the ceiling yet.
We haven't seen
on both sides of the ball.
That's
which
that's
is again, which is why it's so impressive that they're 3-0 with everything that they're dealing with. I think it tells us a lot about this team. But not only is the 49ers offense better, Jacksonville had to play the Texans defense, and they are gnarly. Texans defense is gnarly, but you know what isn't? Their offense is atrocious.
So their defense is on the field 95% of the time.
They're not worth a damn, that Texans offense. So
that sucks, man. It's so weird to see a team go from high power. Oh, you know who we're seeing that kind of this year? The Commanders.
Daniel?
Oh, he took the words right out of my mouth. We're just so in sync.
Oh, the Commanders too. Well, Cliff Kingsbury, is that kind of his thing? That's his thing? Has the league figured him out?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Never liked him.
We got such a entertaining slate of games this week, so really looking forward to it. Wayne, thank you so much for joining me again on a Third and Thursdays. Really fun show. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. You guys were awesome. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, not just mine, but Wayne's as well. And yeah, keep it locked. Tomorrow going to be doing my preview show with KP. And
shout out to KP. Niners Nation, right?
Niners Nation.
Let's go.
Yes,
let's go.
All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Peace.